Hello, everyone. It is
I'm hearing
Matt,
double, Matt.
ESC United, and I'm hearing double, and now we're done with double. The microphone jumped on again on my other device as well. Is that better?
Yes, it is perfect. Your
It is
dulcet tones are
perfect. You
coming
can
through so
prepare
nicely.
as much as possible in the beginning. There's always one thing that goes wrong. Hey, everyone. It is Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, here with my BFF, Gabe. How you doing, man?
I am doing so well. I'm really happy today because I have missed you very much. And I'm really glad that you're back. Obviously, me and Roy have been doing our best to hold the fort, but it's just not the same without you. And we both missed you very much. I know Roy is watching, by the way. So, hi, Roy.
Is he?
Yes.
Why isn't he here?
He's got stuff going on. He's like got us on in the side. It's fine. Just be nice to him. Roy has been superb. He is the second greatest host in ESC United history, behind yourself, of course.
Mr. Roy. Anyways, now seriously, all, thank you for returning to our second reaction live stream where I get to listen to all of the songs of the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. In case you didn't know, I am still sick. I'm on the way to recovery. But I missed 6 months of fun. It was just not on my radar. I had other priorities, which, for the first time since 2005. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the songs up front, so it's crazy. So, but
It's
at least
party.
I get to do the stuff here. And so yesterday we did the semi-final one, first half, plus Sweden and Germany. And today we're doing the second half, and then UK, the country that's also voting in semi-1. And I will react to them and share my thoughts and see where it takes me. And Gabe has a little bit... because I, again, know nothing about the national finals, nothing about the internal selection. So he has a little bit more insight. And I think you had even been to some of them, right?
Yes. So we do, of course, have Finland in this video. And I was very lucky to go to UMK as accredited press. I did make a video all about that adventure, which after this stream in a couple of hours, you can go and watch if you like.
And what's the name on your channel?
And the name of my channel is ESC Gabe. It's right there.
Wow. Right there. No.
Yes, over this one here. So you can always go and write that. And so I went to Finland. I went to Finland this year. Sadly, didn't get to any of the others, but I am going to see many of these acts live at the London Eurovision Party in a couple of weeks as well. So I'm going to try and filter in some context, filter in some information as the stream goes along, where it is relevant about some of these national finals, about some of the stuff around the background of some of these songs, to give you some of the details that you've missed.
Yeah. And yesterday, even with technical difficulties, we managed to stay under 2 hours. So hopefully we can do that again today. Not rushing it, of course. So one thing also to address about yesterday's live stream, in case you were there. So we had some technical difficulties where we're 2/3 through the show. Our stream was taken off the channel because of copyright, and S3T did not want to have any of that material on there and all of that stuff, so we had to start a new one. Of course, then you lose viewers and it looks really stupid. So today I cannot share my screen with the way I did it yesterday. And no strike, somebody's asking. No, it was just an automatic thing. A strike usually just occurs when somebody, S3T would have to come and go to a channel and says, I don't want him to use this, strike. I would always dispute it because it's covered under the Fair Act. Fair use, and and Fair Use Act is what I'm trying to say. And so I would win in court and all that stuff, but YouTube just stays out of it. So that's I usually side with them in the beginning. So so today we have to do it a little differently. It's not as sophisticated, it's not as easy to use, but I will just use my iPhone and share that, and that'll usually work around some of these visual restrictions. It's usually the visual, not the audio, that causes all of the issues, except for certain countries. So that is what we're doing. And once again, just like I did yesterday, I put the songs in 3 groups, and then Gabe gets to decide within those groups the running order, basically. And Gabe, before we get started, I gave you the first group, and I'll explain to people why. I put the direct qualifiers in the first group. So yesterday was Sweden and Germany. Today it's UK. So one of the first songs to be listening to. And then I put the 2 returning acts that have gone to Eurovision before in the first group as well, which is Hera Bjork from Iceland and Natalia Barbu, I think, is that the right name?
Yes.
From Moldova. So those 3 songs we're going to listen to first. And now Gabe gets to decide the first song, and then
so
I'll react
Matt,
to it.
I have decided we should start today with Moldova. And there is a lot of fun to be had both in the in this national final. There's a very interesting story around Iceland's national final as well. So I'll try and talk a little bit about that when we get to them. But Moldova is when we are going to start today.
Okay. Sorry, just like yesterday, you have to say hi to my little baby. It's Gaston. He is very happy, but he's very playful. So he's still 6 months old. So forgive me if he interrupted my Serbia song yesterday. He's like barking in the most inopportune moment. So forgive me. I'm not going to bring it onto live stream every time, but right now he's still,
That's the only reason. There's all of these people here. That's what they were here for.
I know.
It was the Gaston content. So thanks everyone for coming. It's been real. We'll see you all next week.
Yeah. All right. So it's already playing on my phone. Let me start over. Don't look. Okay, I saw a little bit. I saw like 5 women standing on a stage. So I'm not going to pretend I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm. Only one of them is Natalia Barbu.
Oh wow! Way to spoil it. So I'll go ahead and play that. Let me bring it up. And then I probably have to change my microphones here. Let me start this and see how well you can hear it in a second. Can you hear that at all?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear that just fine.
Okay. Ooh, that's started in the middle. That's started in the middle for some reason. Probably was playing while I was headed down.
All right, here we go. Can you see/hear it all right?
Mm-hmm. You can see both.
In the middle, started in the middle.
So they're just pretending to sing along with her, right? Because at least right now, they're doing like they're mimicking her move in certain parts. Okay. It's maybe a little loud. Screechy. I have an old phone, so. Okay, this needs a revamp, like yesterday, the backtrack.
Yes.
Okay, I will say, I actually like the staging idea. It probably is not effective, because the staging is very basic, the stage itself. But actually, I understand what they're trying to do here, I think. It's almost stoicism that they bring there, but it's a nice visual idea, just not, with your mama that can fix that.
Yeah. Violins, of course, very original in Eurovision.
Do they have violins?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, on the side there. Oh, that means they're going to play them. And one thing we know about Moldova is they'd like to rise from the ashes, when we count them out. So I think this needs some work, but their big revamp. I don't like the did part, at least when I just heard it. Yeah, see, it's just... Yeah, for some reason, I don't like this part because it's just too loud. The backtrack is too many dip-de-doos there. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the dip-de-doo part. And I loved her song in 2007.
Chat English only, please. Please only chat in English. We're not able to moderate in other languages. So we need you to speak English.
And I see 5 violins, as you said. Eat your heart out, Alexander Rybak. Okay, I mean, it sounds like she's not off or anything. It just doesn't sound right to me. It's this ha 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 part. It's not gelling with me at all.
What's your thoughts? What are your impressions, Mr. Matt?
Kind of what I just said. it sums it up. I think I like the idea of the staging. It just doesn't look right on this basic small stage. With camera work in Malmö and some lighting, I think that could be really cool, actually. So I do like that part, even though the sound mixing was off. She sounds fine to me, but it's just, I think melodically, it's very difficult for me to get into. It's just, I don't know, it's just not a nice melody that flows, and it doesn't bring out any emotions. It's just like she sings it and then she's done, and a lot of ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, and yeah, I could be wrong, but I don't see this one as a fan favorite. Am I right?
You would be right. So this one currently sits. Let me give you some context.
Yeah,
this one
I do
currently...
know already. By the way, I can tell you, Roy Shed also, like, once I listen to the song, the betting odds, if that's something you want to talk about at that point.
Yes.
Because I do know that at least as of yesterday, was it Croatia was number one?
Croatia is number one. Yes. So this one is 36th of 37.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's it came out of a national final, which was a little controversial. So we had a situation where this song won the jury vote and came second with the televote. There's another song that won the televote and came second with the jury vote and protested the results. There's no process written in the rules of the national final for who wins in this situation. So the organizing committee chose to send Natalia over the other act. That other act, whose name is Valeria Pasha, questioned the result, and as a result, the broadcaster responded by releasing the findings of their enhanced anti-vote rigging technology this year that showed that 1,000 of Valeria Pasha's votes were cast from invalid phone numbers and from far-flung locations such as Aruba and Bangladesh. So that backfired on her slightly. Basically, they went, okay, fine, you won the televote, you also rigged it. So she got dismissed. And we've ended up with Natalia. I agree with you that it's just melodically, for me, it just it falls a long way short of what I would have hoped for. I think the chorus is very bare, and it's like it's almost too sparsely instrumental. The instrumental is too sparse. It feels like there is, you need something more, and that they're over relying on Natalia's voice so much.
Yes.
So I think you need a Moldova-style super revamp of this, essentially, to make it competitive.
Which it is Moldova, so yeah, they need to do what they're good at. So that's why I'm not counting them out, because I see there is, like, the bone structure. There is something potentially there, right? And they could completely wow us with a complete energetic revamp. But in its current state, I will agree that this is a non-qualifier, because who will this appeal to? Like, who's going to be like, oh, that's a nice song? Because sometimes you can say certain, like, Western countries, we may not get that certain kind of genre, but, certain people in that area will. I don't see anyone really, like, saying, oh, this is my kind of music. It's just odd. Do you think this was the best song in the national final?
I mean, it wasn't really competing against any particular quality. I think probably yes. But only because it was so weak. I mean, the song that came second, it was like a Billie Eilish knockoff. Someone in chat compares this to Wild Soul from 2014, which of course really flopped.
Moldova. That's like, yeah. I mean, actually, I like Wild Soul because at least has a decent melody. That one, it was just not a good song, but at least I can tell.
And that one, the thing is, I actually think that was a stronger song than this. I think the problem is that. The two of you who are bickering in chat, you know who you are. Be nice, be friends. Stop it.
Yeah, we ban you or block you.
I just think that it was such a weak field this year. I think it also shows that there's a dangerous thing happening in Moldova where they're becoming critically over-reliant on returning artists. We've now had 3 returning artists in a row. No, 4 actually, because Natalia wasn't Natalia's first involvement either. It's just it's a dangerous trend, and it
has worked so far. To be fair, for them. So
yes, but this is a lot weaker than those songs.
Oh no, I completely agree.
And we don't have the Philip Kirkorov televote-matic to get them through the semi-final this time either. So yeah, my feeling is the same as yours. I think right now this is like last in semi-final territory. It's forgettable, unfortunately, and And it's a shame because she has a really great voice, and I
She
don't feel that
does.
this song takes advantage of it appropriately.
Yeah, I would love to hear people in the chat if you agree or disagree. Make sure you put at ESC United so I know that they are standing out and you are talking to us. Do you still think though, Gabe, that there is a potential of this one doing better with like a really like outlandishly good revamp?
Well, yes,
Where
but I just the ground this has to make up. If you look at the bare bones of Trenalettle versus the final product we were given, the the baboons, the baboons were a
bones,
lot.
baboons.
They were a lot stronger. The baboons were a lot stronger, and they were a lot more effective. Seriously, guys, stop. Only we're gonna start handing out 5-minute timeouts now for non-English in chat. We can't moderate unless it's in English. The problem is Trenalettle was stronger in its first iteration. Soarele Chilune didn't change all that much because it was already much stronger. This is not on that level.
No.
And because it's nowhere near that level, you need a strong sort of base to work with before you can upgrade it. Like My Lucky Day by Doridos had a lot more energy. It had, a sort of character to it that this doesn't really. It's not because it's so, synthy and sort of middle of the road in that sense. It loses any sort of character or identity, in my opinion. And as a result, I think it's in big trouble, and I don't think the revamp can save it, which is a shame.
Yeah, I see. But most people say not qualifying. But here, let's see. If you're going artsy song, maybe one look at Nocturne instead of what this song is. It's an NQ for sure. Do you think? I can see where they're coming from. It recently they're trying to go for like different artsy, but they just didn't have the vision. They just try. It seems more like forced, in fact.
I think the vision, and the thing is as well, is that the staging concept with the hand dancing and the violins, because the number of fixed props it requires, and the fact that it in my opinion, in its current iteration, although admittedly there's massive limitations with the stage in Moldova, it makes it incredibly. It's very limiting. It makes it very static by default because you can't, hand dancing. Like I said, you're still, and unless you're doing something interesting with the camera angles, you can't really change that.
Stop biting. Sorry.
So we need more work, and I think the staging concept needs to evolve significantly as well to take full advantage of the stage in Malmo. Like I said, I think there's just too many obstacles. Trenalettle had the spirit from the start, and the big revamp improved that. This doesn't, and as a result, it's in big trouble, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I disagree. My first impression, at least. So yeah. All right, let's move on to this next song. So you have to choose between Iceland and the UK. I think I know which one you're going to go next for.
I think we're going to go for the other returnee with Iceland.
Oh, I need to make that next time. Hang on,
sorry. You're preparing,
yeah.
Shall I explain some of the background of why this was a controversial selection?
No, do that after the
okay.
Unless the outcome is controversial, then I have that in my mind. You know why? Then maybe I'm thinking too much about the song. Because I'm super duper excited about Hera Bjork returning. She can sing. So I try not to have too many high expectations, but I can't help it. All right, let me just start it now, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Okay. Oh, it's not. Is it an advert?
It's still commercial. You look nervous.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me during this.
Okay.
I don't want to give anything away.
Oh, gospel? I'm feeling it coming. Oh. Yeah, very gospel-y. But though the verses are a little like, okay, I'm waiting for stuff to happen. I think it's the chorus that's going to carry this one, huh? Am I the only one that hears out of the embers?
Yes, exactly. Everyone hears that.
You cannot unhear it now.
I know. No, but it's the fact that you reached that conclusion independently. Everyone has been saying that from the moment this song was released.
And like I was like, no, I can hear this. I can only hear James Newton now. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. All right, let's continue. Yeah, see? Okay, Okay, I sound like a broken record. Revamp, please. This is like also. Look. This is like old-fashioned. Gives me '90s vibes, but not what you could hear in the charts, but in the Schlager world that like my family listened to, that they loved, and I was like, really? By the way, doesn't she look amazing? Like, she looks even better than she did in 2010. Some people just look younger as they age, and I hate her for it because I'm the opposite. Yeah, this is not really what I thought we're gonna get. Ambers, it's really just a bit unremarkable. So I would love to hear afterwards if this was a shock winner, or is that the best I had in the selection? Because
Matt,
this is like it doesn't go anywhere. And her voice, the song doesn't allow her to shine. Her voice does not shine in this as it should. Because I was like, ooh, gospel-y. That could be really good, but I feel like Iceland peaked with the Deer, and they've been on a steady decline since then.
Do I
have to listen to the whole thing?
No.
Yeah, no, out of fairness. They're like the first. It's just like the same. Nothing happens. I feel so bad for her because I love her. She's so nice. She's such a sweet woman.
All right. Your thought. Oh, sorry.
She's still singing. Oh, man. The thing is, she's so likable. Like, I watch her and I was like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I just wish I could say the same thing about the song. So I once again, oh man, kind of what I said about Moldova. This is not going to be fan favorites. It seems like the returning artists are kind of like flopping this year, which is a shocker to me. I'm just really bummed out. Maybe I'm just being too dramatic right now, but I guess I tried not to have expectations, but here I am because I know she can sing, and it just doesn't come across. Yeah, right. So I cannot say this. I forgot the song already, except for Out of the Embers. That's all I remember.
Well, Matt, do I have a story to tell you? This national final, it was possibly the most controversial national final of the year.
Which is hilarious considering all the stuff that they went through initially. So what happened in Iceland? What is so controversial in Iceland?
Okay, so what happened?
Don't tell me is it a little political? Like what happened with
it's extremely political. It's extremely political, and there's a lot of other things tied into it. And I'm going to
let me just understand. We're not going to go into the Israel thing per se, but I do understand that Iceland threatened to withdraw from the contest. And
it's sort of related, but there's a whole thing here, so I'll explain it. And then you sort of tell me what you think. So essentially, and you can play the song if you want to listen to the song. You can do. There was another song in this selection by a guy called Bashar Murad. Now Bashar Murad is Palestinian, and he's got a long record of collaborating with Icelandic artists and so on. Mm-hmm. He fulfilled as well the rules when it comes to like singing in the semi-final in Icelandic. So naturally there were some rather terrible takes, being like, oh, we shouldn't be participating because suddenly people who've never had a problem with, for example, Victor Krona being Swedish and representing Estonia suddenly had a problem when it was a Palestinian man trying to represent Iceland. Anyway, the show comes around. It gets to the final. Bashar Murad in the first round of the final, because obviously they have the super final with the top 2 songs, and before that they have the thing. Bashar wins the jury and the televote comfortably. It gets to the super final. And there are problems with the voting.
Of course, there are.
That essentially basically no votes got counted at all from the SMS voting. The only votes that were received properly were phone calls, because the SMS voting just wasn't working properly. If you tapped the buttons in the app, it directed you to the wrong. It put the wrong number in the text, and it directed you to the wrong number. So essentially, it meant that all the votes would have been invalid. This is obviously very controversial because Hera won by about 1%. When Bashar's vote would probably have skewed younger.
Well, yeah.
And this got more complicated because what you then have is it becomes clear from, I won't go too much into the facts, but essentially it became clear in the couple of days following that these voting changes, these voting problems had disadvantaged Bashar, but at the same time, you basically put Rov in a position where either they keep the result as it is and send Hera, and my understanding is both of these artists had indicated they would go to Eurovision if they won. Either they go to they send Hera, according to the original result, and Bashar is kind of screwed over, or they change the result and they screw Hera over. So essentially, you had this really bitter feeling afterwards, essentially created by the fact that clearly there'd been some problems, and clearly these artists had not quite been done well by the broadcaster, but they were stuck in this situation because there wasn't that much they could do, in my opinion. And what this meant was, especially because I think, with everything going on this year as well, it meant that emotions were running really, really high about this. So it was a very tough situation. It was a tough situation.
So none of this is Hera Björk's fault. Like there's no fault lies because
absolutely not. Yeah. She was really, I think she's really unfortunate to be in this position. And I think, what people are saying in chat that Hera won fair and square, absolutely the case. But there's clearly some errors which plausibly, because of how close the final result was, plausibly could have resulted in a different result. That's nothing to do with the origins of either of the performers. It just, when it's this close, and you can objectively say, okay, this audience, which is more likely to vote by text, would probably favor this song, and it's this close. It's complicated. Essentially, we are where we are.
So we technically we'll never know. But it's just like since it's so close, we don't.
And obviously, it's not really fair on either of them because obviously it undermines Hera, but it leaves a sour taste in the mouth for Bashar and his team as well. So you have, I'm not invalidating Hera in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
Both of them have been put in a position that isn't their fault, which is really unfortunate. But I do think it's important now that Hera is the entry and she's going to Eurovision that we make sure to treat her fairly and that we make sure to,
Agreed. I love Hera.
And she's, like people are pointing out in chat, she's talked about how much this saddens her, how she feels with Bashar as well. The two of them absolutely understand the position that they're each in and that it's a really tough situation for them to be in. As it is, the result is as it is. And that was the controversy surrounding this national final. Because of that, this was probably the most hotly debated result. It dragged on for several days before they eventually confirmed Hera was going to Eurovision. In any case, I think for me, my takeaway from it was I would love to see Bashar Murad try again in future because he had a song that I really quite enjoyed. And it was clear that there was a connection with his music in Iceland. And I think he felt that and the song has done well there. So maybe we'll see him again. I think that the fairest thing would be that hopefully one day he'll get another chance.
Oh dear. I just, putting him in that whole situation aside, it's just shocking. How often, we see it almost in every other national final, voting issues. App issues. By now, wouldn't you think you'd figured it out? I mean, it's just weird to me. I know Iceland is a small country, but you can still get resources. So this needs to get fixed. This is no longer an excuse. App, and then don't use an app.
Yeah.
So
this is just to be clear. I'm commenting here on the technical problems.
Right. Yeah. That's me too. I don't care.
Because there's a lot of people saying in chat saying stay away from politics. I'm not talking about the politics of this. I noted the fact that because of the nature of the context, a lot, that's why it's part of the reason why a lot of people got very emotional and involved in it. Which people are entitled to do. The key thing here is that both of these artists essentially were put in quite a difficult position that neither of them deserve to be put into. And my point is they both deserve more respect, and they both deserve not to be put in that position in future.
Yeah, just broadcasters need to fix that whole voting issues, apps or whatever it may be, because this is really ruining so many contests just this year alone. Is then I assume Iceland pretty far down in the betting odds?
So it's still falling. So before the final result, Iceland was as high as third in the odds, and it briefly topped the odds maybe a month or month and a half ago. But since then, it has dramatically fallen. So now it's down to, and it's still falling. So they are down to 20th now. But if you look at the underlying numbers here from the exchanges, which usually lead ahead, the bookies have this at like 30 to 1, 40 to 1. The exchanges you can get 410 to 1. So it's very, very clear that this is going to drop significantly further. It's just it's happening over time. Because people were, I think, the bookies were basically pricing on the assumption that Bashar Murad would win the national final. So when he didn't, it started falling dramatically, and it is still going. So at the moment, it's in the middle of the odds, but we should note it is definitely still declining.
Yeah. Any questions, any thoughts on the song in the chat at ESC United? So those will show up. Some of them, let me click this one. Oh, no, that's a personal one, so I'm not going to click on that. The songwriter won't go to Mamo in this on the song because okay, that's back to politics though. That it wasn't very, but it's unfortunate that we're at that place because again, let's support Hera.
Like that illustrates how fractious everything became.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it just ain't right. Man, this sucks. Iceland, this tiny little nation. It's always so rootable. So yeah, we'll go from there. But I think what I saw. Tell him about Tiffany, somebody says. Who Tiffany? Is that her?
Oh, so this was another song. Sigur Osk was another artist in the national final. I think you'll enjoy it if you go and listen to it. This song was a little bundle of techno joy. It was really fun. I think in general, actually, if you do get a chance to go back and listen to the song for Captain Final, it was actually I thought, a decent field. There were some songs which were really enjoyable. There were, it was actually, in my opinion, a much stronger year than last year. I think it's a shame that, in my opinion, we've ended up with a song that is weaker than Diljol's song from last year. But I think there's some really interesting things going on, and I think it shows that the Icelandic music scene clearly has something to offer Eurovision that we might be able to see in the next couple of years. So there's a lot of exciting things going on. I would go and listen to the whole final when you get the time.
Yeah, I'll catch up on as many national finals over the next month or two as possible on this and see how it goes. Clearly, this one will be high up on the list due to the circumstances. All right, let's move on to the next country on the list, which is your country, the United Kingdom. Before we get started, of course, I know it's an internal selection, and despite the less than ideal results, except one, the UK has been in my top 10 for 3 years in a row. So, can they continue that streak in 2024? The name of the artist I see here is Ollie Alexander, and the name of the song is Dizzy. Okay, anything you want to add? You want me to just play it at this point?
I think, you know what, going blind. Just go for it.
Just go blind. Okay. I will not look at the chat right now because I don't want opinions. So, Febreze. I don't get paid, so I don't buy Febreze.
This video is not sponsored by Febreze. People are pointing out, by the way, that means Embers was in your top 10, Matt.
Yes, on the studio version, I loved it. Live, was a different story.
The trumpets showed up.
I love trumpets. Oh, I thought it was in the beginning. Is that the beginning?
You're in the right place.
Okay. Okay, well-produced entry again. You can tell already the BBC is certainly putting a lot of effort into them. Oh. I think I like the melody. So far, I like it. Oh, this is very 90s. You know what this reminds me of?
Go ahead.
It's like Erasure and the Pet Shop Boys had a baby, and then they created Ollie Alexander, because I get a little bit 90s vibe like that from the song, and that's a very good thing, because Erasure, one of my favorite bands from the 90s, I saw them live twice. So so far so good.
I think that, yeah.
You know, UK, this slaps. You did it again. I'm into it. Totally into it. Totally into it. I think this is going to be just lukewarm with the fans, because it's not like a smack in your face kind of song.
I agree.
But this is my music. This is my music. It's almost nostalgic, but with a 2024 current vibe to it. So it's just they hit the mark on this one. So I can see a lot of people my age, like either the young millennials, the old Gen Z, and now the young Gen Z and the old millennials. They will have appreciation for this. Oh, this sounds... Yeah, listen to this. This is like Pet Shop Boys.
This especially is really, yeah.
Yes. Oh, this bridge is everything. That's an A+ for me, the bridge. I love that part.
Do you understand why I wanted the other two out the way before I gave you this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Mm. Yeah, I love it. Oh, I'm so happy, UK. Yeah. So, I don't think this is a niche song almost to some people, because I don't think this screams like rating favorite to me, but it's a mad favorite. And I love this kind of music. I love it. I absolutely love it. The melody works for me. The chorus is very strong. The bridge is fantastic. I just love it. I absolutely love it. I have to think it through. It's just really, really good. It makes me happy. I understand if people won't like it, but I don't care, because I do. Well, yeah, UK, you did it again. I don't know if you're going to be on top 10 yet. I haven't listened to all of them, but you're certainly in my love bucket.
So, I mean, that makes me really happy, because this is actually, I get why, and because this song, it's, I like it a lot as sort of a song to listen to, like it's sort of song I can repeat, I understand why some fans are left wanting a little bit more. It's to give some context here. So this song, it was produced by a guy called Danielle Hall, who was also behind Houdini by Dua Lipa, among others. So it's a very kind of, and don't worry to chat, I am going to explain Ollie Alexander as well. So you have like a sort of A team on this. Ollie Alexander is an extremely experienced performer. So you may know him as Years and Years.
I usually don't care, because I have a feeling he's the kind of guy that is older than he looks, because he looks super young.
He's not too old, but he's been active in the music scene for some years.
Is he over 30 kind of thing?
I'm actually not,
because he looks like in his early, that kind of when you from far looks way younger. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was just curious. I was just
He's 33.
Yeah, see, I would have guessed he was way younger. Like I would have taken many years off. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
His previous work was with Years and Years. They've had 2 #1 albums in the UK, most recently in 2022. So this is a proper like modern, notable, famous person going for the UK. But this is his first single release just as Ollie Alexander rather than Years and Years. He's performed at the Brits with Elton John He's had a UK number one hit single. If you ever heard King by Years and Years, which I'll send to you later if you haven't, because you should hear
I
it.
don't know.
Ollie's a big deal, and he's wanted to or hinted at wanting to do Eurovision for some time. I think in terms of the song, I can say this is super representative of the kind of thing you get on the radio at the moment. It is a super like, current and sort of past fusion together in a really nice way. I think the Pet Shop Boys reference is like exactly right for that middle section. That has clicked for me the second you said that.
Yeah.
So this for us is quite a big deal, in my opinion.
Good. How does the UK feel about it? Are they happy with the song? Is there a lot of positive? Is it just mixed? What do they say?
So the media the media.
Because I know they can be harsh in your country.
I'd say it's been mixed, but I mean that like genuinely mixed, not as in I'm being diplomatic and it was crap. Like, he's got 5-star reviews and 2-star reviews for this song from the media. But in general, the general consensus, like everyone knows we're now way beyond like no offense, the James Newman era. Like we have definitively, and I think we can say that now, having seen the last 3 entries, we've definitively left that horrendous like 2016 to 2021 era in the past. Actually 2016, it goes back further than that, but you know what I mean. I think people were hoping for a little more, but I think part of the reason why I didn't want to talk about who Ollie was before I played you the song is I think people's perceptions are being colored a little bit by the fact that he's well known, that he's had singles and albums that have done well before. And so people need to so I wanted to give you the song without the context, because I think most people will be receiving the song without the context on the night. And that makes your reaction more closer. I think it would have changed it being like, oh, he's got number one singles and albums. Well, now I have a massive expectation.
And Eurovision's a totally different animal anyways, because just like with, I really loved your song last year, but it just didn't come together live. It's a great song for the charts. And I can see this one kind of currently do the same thing, but maybe he is better live and it just comes better vocally and just, the audio, I don't know. So that's still a concern of mine, but the song on its own merit, I think is really good. So I would love to hear from people in the chat as well at ESC United. Last question about the UK though, Gabe. Where's Kate Middleton?
Ha! Oh, no, my favorite theory today is that Prince William has a mistress who he wants to marry, but he has had children with the mistress who are older than Prince George. So he cannot marry her because if he does, it would change the line of succession.
Oh my God. Fake outrage.
Yes, but no, the whole Kate, I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to get the tinfoil hats on about Kate and Will stuff. There's all kinds of salacious rumors, which the chat will be familiar with. And if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know why we can't talk about it on this stream. Regarding the prince's proclivities and things that cannot necessarily, or Kate is not necessarily happy to fulfill, that he may have found in the arms of another woman.
I was just kidding. I didn't expect you to give me really a full description here, because I don't really care.
Anyway, we should get back into it. So let's put a pin in this, or rather a peg in this, and move on.
No, it's just funny to me because it's all over the media here, and I'm like, so. But it's just funny. What kind of stage show would Matt imagine for Dizzy? That is a very good question. I'm not really good at envisioning staging, but I do think the song itself, I wouldn't call it an intimate song, but I do feel the staging needs to be focused on him. So I think a lot of close-up shots, and I do think the idea of the room that he's in that could work even on stage with just a lot of spinning around him because he is dizzy. So I think there's a lot of camera work and a lot of more close shots than wide shots. I hope they're not going to just have him and 4 dancers. That would be a little boring for this performance. So I hope they're going to be creative. And I mean, what they did last year, even though it didn't result in points, they were trying. So I always want to point that out. It doesn't always work, but I like the idea of last year's staging. So I'm thinking down those lines. Yeah. What do you think?
I actually completely agree. I think that's exactly the thing they need to do. I do think the good thing with the UK at the moment is you can expect at least we should expect, given the amount of money that is clearly available now, like I think it's apparent that the BBC's budget has gone up quite a lot if suddenly they can afford artists like this with like full production music videos and record label clout behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's no way they would have agreed to do it unless there was going to be the staging budget. Now, whether that comes from the record label or from the BBC doesn't really matter. I think that means they're going to have a really clear concept. People have pointed out Ollie Alexander's a very accomplished actor as well. He acted in shows like It's a Sin, which was very successful here.
That's a
What this
Pet Shop
means
Boys song.
is-
It's a sin. Da 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 da. You know that song, right? That's what I
Yeah,
was
he did a
thinking.
version of it. He did a version of it with Elton
No
John.
surprise.
It's really beautiful. You should definitely go and listen to it later.
All right.
So yeah, I think we can stage well. We shouldn't forget like the Mae Muller staging. The problem with the Mae Muller performance was the fact she was really nervous and the vocal wasn't great. The staging was good. Everything else about it worked, and obviously the staging the year before that. We'll not talk about the top trumpets in 2021. Sam Ryder's staging was really good as well. So I think I want to see something bold. I want to see something ambitious. I think the UK, because we've got the money, we're in the position to do this. Sweden, you want to give us the most advanced stage in Eurovision history. You got it. We're going to use it to its maximum potential.
There you
Because
go. I think
we have
so.
to be real. If you want an ambitious staging concept, I will say this about the Swedes, regardless of my comments this week on Melody Festivalen, I will say this: they know how to produce a show. If you're going to go ambitious, this is the year to do it. And I think the UK has a really good concept. You could link it in like the whole Dizzy thing, mess about with the dimensions and the rooms and camera tricks, trick our mind's perception. There's so much good and exciting. And I think we have a little bit to work with at the start, which we're going to build on. And that's exciting.
That is exciting. Well, I'm excited. I'm a fan, and I'm rooting for the UK. I always do, but especially this year because I like the song, even if it's not the popular thing right now. But who cares? We got to move on to the next group of songs. We got 3 more, and I'm going to tell you which one you get to rank. I mean, not like you, but which I'm going to listen to first. So the next 3 songs on the list I have are Australia. Because the reason the act sounds awfully familiar. I know they were in the national final before, so I want to bring them up next because they were fan favorites. So I want to listen to them. Slovenia, same thing. Raven, she was also like King Close like twice winning, and now she gets to go. I assume internally, but I could be wrong. You tell me. And then I put Portugal in this one because I have no idea. Portugal, the name or the act doesn't give me any information, so it's just a wild card for me. So Australia, Slovenia, and Portugal are next. Gabe, tell me, who should I pick next?
So I'm going to separate Slovenia and Portugal from each other because I don't think they're going to perform one after another in the show. So I don't think you should put them next to each other here either. So we're going to start with Slovenia, then Australia, and then Portugal.
Okay, let's do Slovenia. Raven, Veronica. Okay, and before I start. Internal selection or national final?
So internal, bit of drama about this. We'll cover it in a minute.
Oh gosh, even the
nothing
internals.
big. It's not that big compared to the other stuff. It's just a small like oddity, a curiosity, just to add a little color to the story. It wasn't like a huge scandal in the way that others were.
Okay, well I can't wait to hear. All right. Ready for commercial Bounty. If you need some paper towels, buy Bounty and send me money. You're welcome, Bounty.
Oh, I missed you, Matt. I really, really missed you.
Okay.
Here we go.
Ooh. We're getting another moody song. Or is there going to be a build-up? Okay. Fascinating. Ooh.
Surprise.
It is a moody and atmospheric entry for sure. When I say this, when I say it reminds me of Serbia, not the same mood because Serbia is way calmer, but it's more like the feel, like it goes for a specific feel and it's like a distant cousin. That's how I would describe it. Still wearing my glasses. Silly me. Um, yeah, it's interesting, intriguing. It's not what we call a bop, right? It's not like, oh, that immediately like gets into, but it's, I think this is something you want to look for live, because this has so much staging potential.
Oh, I really like this bit.
And I like that Slovenia is experiencing with different genres. And you said I missed the national finals, but I understand now why they switched to to internal selections, because they get to send this stuff. Yeah, this could, if the staging is right in Malmö, I see good things for Slovenia. I like it. Again, not the song that screams favorite, just listening to this. But I'm watching you, Slovenia. This has a lot. I like it already. And it's just a mood. It's a feel. Yeah, really nice. Really, really. Oh, it's not over yet. I'm stupid. I thought it was short.
I love, this is just
the high note, like the oh. I'll give it definitely an A for effort alone. And they need to be rewarded for sending something a little bit outside of the box here as well. I think it's a really cool song. It's very intriguing, quite nifty. Again, is it like the song that I can see myself having on replay all the time? Not right now. No. But I think this is going to be an experience at Eurovision, a visual one, you know, if it's staged right. So this has every chance to not qualify if it's done poorly. But this could go really big as well. So I think this has a wide range of could go either way to me. So the overall, I do like it, and I cannot wait for the staging. Gabe, give me the deep.
I think I'm pretty much with you. I think it's going to be. I think it'll make it to the final. I think there's been a couple of people have started getting a little worried about it, because I think when it came out, it had quite a lot of hype. And someone mentioned this in chat, kind of got shifted down a bit as more stuff came. This one was quite early. We only had a few songs at the time. One thing I want to mention, Bojan Svetichanin from Joker Out is one of the songwriters on this. It's a nice little detail.
So what's the drama?
So the drama was, after she was selected and announced, the head of music at RTV Slovenia, which is the broadcaster, resigned after a corruption investigation was launched against him regarding the way in which this song was selected. Now, one interesting tidbit of information to go with this, and I cannot reveal my sources, so unfortunately, you guys are just going to have to trust me. I know for a fact they'd chosen artists for the national final and informed them already that there was going to, and then, suddenly they switched to internal, what was clearly quite a late stage. In any case, the entry is what it is. It's just like a little, this was sort of going on in the background, but we haven't heard anything since January.
I'm sorry, did you say, and to understand correctly, so you said that that there was supposed to be national final and then it switched to internal?
Yeah.
Because that's, honestly, I did an interview with Joe Crowd last year that kind of happened with them as well. They sent their song to the national final, and then they got a call and said, do you just want to go? Basically, And
yeah,
like,
basically.
Sure. So it's kind of like a similar situation. And they told me that. It's not like a secret source for me. So you didn't have to reveal your source, but it doesn't surprise me. It sounds legit.
Yeah. And so I think, there were some questions about how it was handled. I'm curious to see how it comes out. But in any case, to be honest, I think it would have, anyone would have had a tough time beating this song in a national final anyway. Because this was always going to be a contender to win a national final.
I'm happy for her, yeah. Raven is great, and she can sing well live. That I remember. Yeah. So that we're already taken care of. So now it's up to her team and the Malmo producer and like the people to make it look amazing, because there's so much potential there. So I would love to hear from people as well. While I'm looking that up, at ESC United in the chat, where are they in the odds? Do you know?
So Slovenia currently sit in 26th place.
Somewhere in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, it's very much in the sort of, they're in that, there's a big group of songs this year. And maybe, Matt, you're starting to realize this the more you're listening as well. There's a lot of songs where it's like, we're in quite an even place, and a lot of things are gonna live or die on that stage,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels like we're working with more limited information this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would say this song is in that group.
Okay. I think Slovenia has gotten appeal, especially in Slavic countries this year. I think that's fair. Do you think this is a little bit more of I wouldn't call it a cultural song because that's not what it is, but like it certainly speaks to, more people that are familiar with that kind of music.
I think, yeah, I mean, it
They're
will
like,
especially do well in the Balkans, I think.
not that many countries this time around. We've lost so many this year.
Yeah, but by the Balkans, I basically mean, obviously, we've got essentially, I'm thinking primary ex-Yugo. So Croatia, Serbia, and Slovenia, all in one semi-final this year. Gonna do each other a lot of favors, I think, because I would expect their songs to be the top two in each of the other of those countries. So really, you're looking at this song and those two others are starting at like a baseline of 20. So they only really need 15, 20 more points to potentially qualify.
Yeah.
So that's my feeling. Go on.
Yeah, and yes, I was bringing up. Antoine says, I feel like this is always one entry year that could be in the top 10 or not qualify, and that's Slovenia this year. I think that's kind of what I was implying earlier as well, insinuating that this could go really far, but it could also completely just crash and burn if incorrectly handled by the team, because there's a lot of wiggle room here. So, but that makes it exciting. I love the unpredictability, but I think on its own merit, I think Slovenia is sending a solid entry. I think there's a really good effort, and they should be proud of it, whether they're going to qualify or not, because they're trying. And they need to. Is Slovenia's best result still 7th place at the contest? I think so, right? 2 7th places, I think. We need them in the top 5. I mean, I wouldn't mind them winning. I would love to go, but that's a story for another day. All right, so this was Slovenia. Which one did you say was next? You wanted to break up?
Australia.
Australia's next. Okay, let me. Okay, I'll be ready in 2 hot seconds. Australia. Okay. That was an internal selection as well, I believe, right?
It was indeed.
And no, Deets, any controversy on this one? Or is it Australia just straightforward?
No, not really. The main thing was just kind of the will they won't they of Australia renewing their contract, where everyone I think knew that ultimately they would.
They knew. Really, people still thought that. Of course, they were going to renew their contract. The question was if they're going to afford it. Australia. That was one of the things.
Yeah, essentially, that was the only question. But they found a way to do it. So they are here.
All right, with a band that was very popular a few years ago. Let's see if they're going to send another banger. Yeah, if you have auto glass damage, don't go to Safe Light because they're not giving me money. Okay. Wait. Oh, sorry. They tricked me. Okay. The lead singer's voice just so nice. Really nice voice. Wow. They really went out on the budget with this music video, didn't they? Oh, I do like... I'm waiting for the chorus before I say anything else. Oh, see, I do love the message. I find the message of the song so uplifting, and it's just warmth and love, and I love that part. Like, if you listen to it, I get the message. At least I don't have to really pay attention to the video because it's just lyrics.
I'm just bopping along.
I will say, I will wait. I'm waiting a little bit for a hook here to completely grab me. But this is another song, almost similar in the vein of Slovenia. I'm waiting for the live performance. I think it's probably going to be more effective to convey the feel of the song. Yeah, I don't want to look at the because I feel like they're watching me the entire time, makes me uncomfortable almost. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just a little bit more. I wish I would get a little bigger at that moment, just for a studio version song, but the staging I'm looking for here as well. I almost wish like they're like some, I may not be using the right term here, like tribal drums sound. I wish that would be more prominent. I think the track would be a little louder to make it a little bit more impactful. So yeah, in the studio version, I'm okay with it. I like it enough, I think, but I don't know if it blows me away. Because I remember we should not compare them to previous efforts. It's not always fair, but I know what they're capable of, and I think this song it just misses that big like moment for me to remember it and be like woohoo. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah, it's not a bad song at all. So let's be clear here. I just feel as the final spark is missing here for me in terms of like saying this is the one I definitely want to go back to and listen to it again because it just doesn't take me anywhere. Except I do love the message of the song, and I like the voice of the song, and I could see this one. It's not, yeah, it has a lot of pros, but I do get hung up on the things why I cannot completely go crazy over it. So it's just my honest opinion. It's not a bad song, but it may not be working for me as much as I really wanted to like it because it's just it's okay for me. It's okay. How do you feel, Gabe?
I think this is a case of condemnation by faint praise, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it's an enjoyable song to listen to, and I like it. It's not what I go to. I think I'm relying on the fact that these two are extremely charismatic to maybe hopefully bring it a little more. I just at the moment I'm struggling to get it.
It's just the structure of the song is just so average.
One thing I do really like, which I'd love to see more of, is the use of Aboriginal languages. For the first time in Eurovision, I would.
There's
love
only
to
one
see more of
line
that.
really, but still, we take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. I do find that that's also an endearing part. Of course, is it enough to save the song? Probably not. But yeah, I think we agree a lot, Gabe, right now today.
It's horrible, isn't it?
I know it's boring.
There's chances to be divisive still to come. There's plenty to be for us to argue about.
Yeah, that's true. So it's there. I'm withholding final judgment. This one, I don't see this one in my top 10, but it's not going to be like at the bottom either. Just kind of like mid. I would love to hear from other people though at ESC United. And where is Australia sitting in the betting odds right now, Gabe? I know they're usually higher on the end, but I don't think this one's going to be as high.
25th, just one place above Slovenia. Again, like it goes straight into that group of we don't know what they're going to come out with. Internal selection, so many unknowns. The charisma's there, but the song is perhaps not the strongest. And that's where the issue comes. But 25th in betting odds at the moment.
Yeah, who will go out of their way to vote for Australia? That is the question to phrase it like, who is the target audience? You see, I don't see like a base, like by default for the song. So that is a very good question. And I said something similar about Germany last year, which is a radio-friendly, fine song, but who's going to vote for it? So that is a similar concern here, although I find this one a little bit more, I would put this over Germany. But it's a similar concern I have. All right. Let me see here. It could qualify, but the song is meh. Gabe, I haven't listened to all of the songs yet, right? So I cannot really make a judgment yet. But based on your personal opinion and what you've listened, as of right now, would you call it a qualifier, non-qualifier, or like borderline at this point?
I would say borderline, but non-qualifying, respectfully, at the moment. I think, as you can probably see so far from the songs you've heard, the first half of the semi-final is really strong. And there's a lot of like this. Unfortunately, when you've had all of that energy, all of those different sounds and so on, this one maybe just doesn't quite hit those heights. And as a result, I think I'm going to say non-qualifier, 11th or 12th in the semi, unfortunately, for now. How about you? What are you thinking? From what you've heard, does it give you qualification vibes?
So I will say so far, there's still like 4 or 5 songs left for me. I do think the first half has stronger songs, so I would say right now my gut feeling tells me no, but again, that's with limited information available. I'm trying to see who would, at this point, I think it'll do better than Iceland and Moldova. And in the first half, I can't think of one song in the first half that would do worse than them. But here's the thing. Again, I don't know the other songs yet. If this continues, though, there's no way all the songs from the first half will qualify. So one of these songs, or a couple of them, will be at least sneak through. So, yeah, there's no way that let's get the first. I'm not saying all 7 were equally great and all that stuff, and but there's no way all 7 songs from the first half will qualify.
I personally think they might, but we can have this discussion once we've heard all the songs.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, let's move on to the next one then. So, which was
Portugal.
Portugal. That was, of course, Festival de Canção, unless they decided to cancel that, which I don't think they did.
It was indeed.
Cancelled?
No. It was indeed Festival de Canção. Festival de Cancelled. I don't know if Bruno is still in chat. If the famous Stats Bruno is in chat, stand up right now. Your time has come. Festival de Canção again this year. Again, I don't want to give you too many clues. I will say this one was the favorite to win from an early stage.
And it did. Predictable. Yeah. Well, those who followed us over the years, they know that how wild I was and still am about Mimi Cat. I got to meet her in Barcelona last year, and just love her just as much as a person. She was so sweet. She came up to me because I was the last one to interview her, and she was a little tired, and she apologized like 15 times. I'm like, don't worry, we'll do it quick. And we had such a good bond, we just really good chemistry. So it was a really fun experience, actually. Yeah. So you got big shoes to fill. What's her name again?
Yolanda
with Grito?
I think it's like Grito.
Okay, let's listen to Grito. But first, you need to wash your clothes with Tide.
I'm really excited for you to. I'm excited for you to listen to this one. This one that I'm not, without giving a rate. Personally, I've grown quite attached to. So let's see how you feel about this.
We'll see. Okay, I love start a cappella, and I'm bored. On board already. She draws me in just because of that, and she has a nice voice. So is this like a little fado song-ish?
It's got those inspirations, but
it has the inspiration. It's like not quite, but I feel there is. Oh, we got some interpretive dancing going on here, or choreography, dancing. Oh no, aren't there some moving around there? Okay.
I've got this on in the background. I've synced it up to yours.
So first of all, voice.
Just wait.
Well, I can tell already.
Oh, but there's more. There's more. Don't worry.
Now, this is a heavy ballad, right? A little dramatic. It's melodically almost, heavy. That's not an insult, It's not like the beautiful, I don't know what she's singing, so she may be singing about her garbage disposal, but I do feel emotions coming from her, so that's powerful. Oh, I like that part. I love it's like almost like a counter melody that the backup vocalists have, and that's pretty nifty.
Bruno says she's not in fact singing about her garbage disposal.
She's not singing about her garbage disposal. Disappointed. And this is honestly, this is pretty. It's probably even has a grower written all over it because it's very heavy. It might require a second listen to like, oh my god, listen to the intricacies because right now I'm doing a reaction video and I'm talking over it a little. You have to need more focus to comprehend the entirety of the composition.
Okay, if I just.
Mm-hmm. Big note. Yeah, that was cool. That was really, really cool. That was nice. Great vocals. I like it. I really do. And very different from last year's effort, too. Like, they switched up there. That's going to be quite popular in the Eurovision bubble, I think. I'm always a little worried about this kind of music with like the average person, like the casual viewer, because it's certainly not an easy song to get into, right? You really have to focus. Like if you're at a party just watching with people and you just kind of like listen to it on the side, that's not the right song. Yeah. But if you really allow yourself to let the music just, take you, this takes you on a journey a little bit. This is like, and that's why I need to listen to it again. But it's very artistic. It just has a lot of quality to it. And I thought she was fantastic. And I do like the song. I need to listen to it again. But very good first impression. It's more of a risk. I'm curious to hear, though, from you, Gabe, not just before your opinion, because I feel as a lot of people will like it. Not everyone will get it. And I don't think the people who have money and like to bet, they would put money down on this one.
So, I mean, you would be right on the betting front to an extent. So Portugal currently find themselves 30th in the odds with this one. I have to say though, I'm a very big fan of the song, and it's grown a lot on me. And it really, actually, that Big Note is one of my favorite in recent Eurovisions. I think it's really exceptional, and it's so natural. It feels like such a natural swelling in that moment, and the execution is just gorgeous. I think that the risk is that it's a song that will favour the juries. I think for people who are sitting down, not at a party, and watching this show, which is a pretty large amount of people, I think they will appreciate this, and it will really make an impression. I think that we shouldn't underestimate that that it's in a decent position and that it has Luxembourg in this semi-final with them. Now, for those of you who don't know, well, Matt, did you know 15% of the population of Luxembourg is Portuguese?
No, I did not. Did they give a lot of points? Oh, well, back then they didn't have televote. Never mind.
Luxembourg is a major potential televote ally for Portugal, and they are, so having them in this semi is a advantage for them. I suspect this is going to scrape through and then do better in the final because the juries will then pick it up and run with it. But also, I mean, this is quite a bombastic semi-final.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Gaston, by any chance?
Yes, he got a piece of plastic. Go ahead.
Dog Tax, you have to show us Gaston again.
Go ahead.
Please. Okay. Oh, I saw him. I saw him there. There he is. Lovely. I've lost my train of thought because of Gaston. Point is, I think it's going to qualify just about. It's going to do better in the final because the juries will carry it along. I think it has enough about it with a very bombastic semi-final around it to get its way through, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and I mean, we have 3 more songs left in this group. We talked about the first and second half. Right now, it shines in the second half already. That is a big advantage as well, I think. So, yeah. So it's a good song. This one of the songs I'm probably, as soon as we're done with this, I will listen to it again because I feel like I need to listen to it again because it has so much going on there. Stop. Sorry, I'm so sorry, y'all. I have to put. He's too young to be put in a cage for too long, so that's why I have him right here next. So. It won't be an issue next time. But so I would love to hear from people in the chat at ESC United. I would love to hear your thoughts. It might fight for the same voting group as Serbia, though, that might hurt their chances. Do you think that they could cancel each other out a little? Different, slightly different, but I see the comparison a little bit.
I see the comparison, but I do think they're drawing on different musical traditions. And also, we've got to remember that while, yes, the ballads in this semi, without revealing too much about the songs still to come, you've essentially, you've heard the big contenders when it comes to ballads.
Yeah.
There's 10 slots. Even if this gets out competed by Serbia or vice versa, it only has to claim some of those votes. And I think it'll do just fine as a result. I wouldn't worry too much about this at the minute. I think in the semis, you got to remember, people don't really have parties for the semis in the same way they do for the final. People are voting in maybe a slightly more considered way. There's some slightly different dynamics here. So I think there's more than enough space for both Serbia and for Portugal in the final.
Yeah. Put him down again. Okay. No, I agree with you for sure. All right. So now I'm curious to find out. Wait, these are all three from this group, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then let me see. So the last group I have are Azerbaijan. I want to put that last only because I saw the song title and I was like, ooh, we're getting a non-English, like they're actually doing it. And so I was super excited. Also in here, Finland, only because you briefly mentioned on Monday the name of the act. I'm like, Windows 95 Man.
Yep.
Which is the first computer I owned, by the way. So that's pretty iconic. Barely remember. And then Luxembourg. I put them last because it's Luxembourg. They're back. I wanted to save the best for last. That's how I was thinking about. Not to save the best for last, but I want to put them at the end. So don't change your rank. I was just put them there because I wanted to wait a little bit.
Okay.
So that's why I put those three last. And now, Gabe, you get to decide it.
Just so you guys know, me and Matt talked about this before the stream. And I'm just going to take a little step back while we're talking about Azerbaijan and return afterwards. And Matt will continue. Matt, because I very much need the toilet, I think it might be good to do this now. So if we do Azerbaijan, then Luxembourg, and then we'll do Finland at the end because I think Finland will close the semi-final.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to do Azerbaijan now, and I'll quickly hop to the toilet, and I'll be once you've watched it and reacted, I will.
Yes, sir.
Be ready to jump back in.
Okay. See you in a minute.
See you in a minute, guys.
Oops. He was still talking. That's probably a lie. All right. So just hang on a second. I need to type Azerbaijan. I think I know how to spell it. Okay. My glasses on. Fareh featuring Ikin Dovlatov in a song that I don't know how to pronounce that. So let's get this thing started. Oh, still commercial. Dawn. You can wash your dishes or a duck. Here we go. Wait. Damn it, it's in English. You fooled me. He does that breathy thing with the voice, which I'm not always a big fan of. Well, now it's getting okay. It's pleasant on my ear so far without making like major waves. But it's pleasant. What stands out to me is more the like the voices in the back, the backup vocalist. I love those little intricacies. Okay, never mind. So there's a little bit of So I do think the track deserves a little bit more work because it's just like a little beat, a little bit of drums there. See, that thing that feels very Azerbaijani. Oh, see, yeah, there should a little bit of Azerbaijani there said, and it's this part is pretty, but it almost makes it feel disjointed. Like I want to feel the song more. There's a certain emptiness so far because the melody is not that strong, right? Or is it just me? And it's not a competitive entry for a contest. I love this part, and it has a certain soothing energy. So yeah, it's a feel. I'm quite feeling it. It's enjoyable. What I do like, it's not overproduced. It's not trying too hard, and there is a certain likability in that simplicity. So it's not bad, but I want more. Like if you ask me like to describe it in one word or the 3 words, I would say I want more. There's something they should have. Yeah, they feel like they gave only 60% rather than 100% on this composition. It's not bad though. It's just I will say though, let's give Azerbaijan a little bit of credit here, only because they did send something a little bit. They stopped doing this whole let's just bring in all these Swedish and Greek songwriters and we do our own thing. And I'm really glad that that's what they've done. And I feel it's just like last year where they also had Azerbaijani songwriters. It didn't work out, so I'm not sure if this one will work out because again, it's a little right in the middle there. But I don't want to discourage them either. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I want to give them more praise. So it certainly has plenty of redeeming qualities. I just don't think that as an overall composition, it's competitive. And I think they could have done more with it. So the second half continues to be a little being overshadowed by the first half. So that's going to be very interesting. So I would love to hear from y'all how you guys feel about Azerbaijan this year, the song. At ESC United, let me know. I'm trying to scroll a little bit. No, I'm just looking at the at ESC United ones. I personally love both Portuguese and Serbia. That's a different comment. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I don't think people had a lot of thoughts about this, but let me know. I'll wait another second. Speaking of Azerbaijan, did you hear that Turan X recently spoke about one specifically piece of advice their voice coach gave them? It's so funny that you mentioned that. I saw it this morning on Twitter, or X as they call it now, but I still call it Twitter. Yes. Basically, in a nutshell, I think the vocal coach said don't have sex or masturbate before your performance or something like that. Like, and they broke the rules apparently. And I'm like, hashtag oversharing a little bit, but hey, that was funny. But yeah, I'm like, I did not need to know that. And there's so many jokes to insert here, and I'm not going to do that. And I think this one sums it up. I think Trevina's comment, meh. I think it's kind of like where we are with the song. I don't think it's going to be talked about a whole lot. Man, the first half is really overshadowing this one. All right. I am bringing back Gabe.
Hello.
Hello, I got to fix this. Hang on.
I'm small and down there. Whoa.
There you
There we go.
Better?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So we're done with Azerbaijan. So we're now moving on to the second song, which you said was Luxembourg, because Finland is closing the show, you believe, right?
Yes, I think.
Which then makes me believe that it's a upbeat banger. Let's see. But first, let's go to Luxembourg. So that's a national final, and was there any controversy? Yes. So we're going to talk about that as well. Tali Fighter. Okay. I'm playing this, and this is a national final performance, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you want to travel to Malmo, use kayak and send me money. Okay. Oh, and then wash your
another
clothes.
one. Seriously, I know. I'm sure some of you have a problem with this. Wash yourselves. I'm sorry. I love you all. I was joking. Just to be clear.
So I was thinking like, oh, it's fighter, so it's going to be in English, but it looks like it's French
Mixed.
after all. Maybe probably the chorus is in English. That would be my guess. That's what people love to do. Boom. Oh, that should be louder. The boom sound. Oh. Oh, I like the melody. I like the melody. I'm always nervous because it's Luxembourg returning, so I'm super excited for them. I want them to do well. Although I will say, when I look at this, it gives me a lot of Romanian national final vibes. The staging, the cut lighting, you know what I mean? That's not an insult. You think like it's a bad thing, but they have a very specific look to them and feel. I'm not talking about even the voting. They also said where it looks kind of matte on stage, and then they kind of fix it for Eurovision. And there's a lot of room for improvement, but I think once again, please tell me there's a revamp coming. Is there a revamp coming? No.
Yes, but
there is.
From what I've seen, it doesn't sound like it's particularly major. So there's going to be a revamp, but the question is is the base product strong enough for the revamp to have an effect? Same question in Moldova. So
I think this one has the base product is there, but I'm going to talk about it in a moment.
Sure, let's listen to the rest.
Yeah. I really like the chorus in case of the melody, the trick. He likes it too. The track, it desperately needs a revamp. It sounds like a demo. Oh my god, come here. He doesn't want him picking me up either.
That last balk was in time.
The
last balk was in time with the song.
Oh. Yeah, currently I'm worried it's not enough. But to me, as the base product is there, because this chorus is actually quite strong. At least we know now Gaston's favorite song so far. And she sounds good. It's a very predictable national final staging. That's why I kind of pointed Romania out, because I tend to do these things. See? I like the melody. I really like the melody. And it's really, the sound mixing is not ideal here either in the national final. See, this is cool, but it needs to be bigger. Bigger. She's drowning in that, or like the back. It's just, it doesn't do her justice. That's my issue. So let's talk this through. I like her. I think she sings it well. This is not an easy song to sing. Look at lots of up and down. This is not easy to sing, and she's done it well. The sound mixing clearly is not ideal. That needs to get fixed. I love the chorus. I love the progression of that song. I just feel like there's so many moments that could be big, like "You on fire," boom, and it was just like a little beep. Those moments, they missed an opportunity, and that's why I'm praying that they're going to give us a revamp, because I think this has all the chances to do really, really well. I like it. It's not there yet. So if this was today's opinion for me in terms of qualification, I'm getting nervous. But it's on my radar. You're on my radar. Luxembourg, I think the song has a lot of potential, and Please, please, please give us something new. Please listen to me. Or not. I don't care. All right, Gabe, your thoughts.
So, some context. This song won the jury vote in the national final, and came and lost the televote by a feather, single point.
Okay, so
Very, very close to a sort of Bond-themed ballad was the other song. Some background on Tali. So she's very cosmopolitan, lives in New York. Family is half Israeli, half Peruvian, brought up in Luxembourg, obviously speaks French as a result. And that was sort of a bit of a theme. They did bring in a lot of songwriters, a lot of singers, with sort of who'd been brought up in Luxembourg and who maybe furthering their careers in other places, but brought them back. Gaston is yapping away. He yaps almost as much as I do.
He wants to play so bad right now.
Well, he can soon. We only have 2 songs left.
I know.
So my thoughts on the song. I will admit that this one has not aged too well for me. I liked it at first. It was my favorite in the selection on the night. But listening back now with the benefit of time, I really do wish the song that had come second won the selection. This one has, gotten old, unfortunately, quite quickly. Obviously, on the night that doesn't matter. I actually see your point about it sounding like a demo. And I think I may actually be able to shed some light on why that is.
Okay.
And it hinges on why this national final had some, in my opinion, some problems to fix. The artists in this national final were given songs by the production team. They were not performing their own songs. And so what that meant was you had in my opinion, like a less diverse field, and it meant that they all sounded quite generic. As a result, you had this, in my opinion, it was a fairly bland show. I think also one thing that I would like to see Luxembourg do differently next year, they basically contracted the whole operation out. The whole national final was very well produced, but they contracted it all out to an external firm that then did everything. It was, Tali Eshkoli, who ran Eurovision 2019. She was the executive producer that year.
Oh, okay.
Basically, her firm did everything. And so the production was really great and everything. But the problem is the production and all the dancers and everyone else meant they all just kind of leave Luxembourg at the end of the show, and you don't gain any institutional knowledge from doing that. They also, there's also some, I think, there was some disquiet in the Luxembourgish music scene because I think a lot of local artists felt a little alienated by the way the show was run, because of the way in which they were like, here's some songs, you guys will sing these songs, not your originals.
Yeah.
And there was some disquiet from like friends of the artists on Instagram, for example, who said, well, he submitted this song and now he's being made to sing something else. So it was like there was some, I think they have a lot to learn. A lot went well, but I think there's a lot to learn. And I think I wouldn't mind having a slightly worse produced national final if it meant that it was maybe a little more of the artists that we saw.
Authentic,
a little more authentic. Yeah.
I
think you can see that in this song, is that it doesn't have much character at the minute.
No, but I think it has potential. It's just, I would love to hear from other people as well in the chat at ES United about your thoughts about the song. While they're, if something comes up, great.
Can I just quickly, I just want to say, I did not mention what country the production company is from, and I deliberately didn't do that because I don't think it is relevant to the point I'm making.
No.
The point is that it was not, the production did not involve, or very lightly involved, local teams in RTL Luxembourg. That was my point. It has nothing to do with the country from which the production company is from, just to be 100% clear. And I would absolutely not make that implication. So moving on. My point was, this is why, my point is about building up institutional knowledge. This is why, for example, Melody Festival is so good. It's because you have this rich, production line of Swedish producers, and that's how they produce an amazing show, because they've got that knowledge at home in the broadcaster. That's the kind of thing that RTL should be trying to build up, and that all broadcasters should be trying to build up. For that reason, I don't particularly like the model of bringing in an external company to run the entire show for you and then leave at the end afterwards, regardless. So, just to be clear, this isn't a political point or anything. This is just more about how I think is the best way to develop these shows and make them really rich representations of the cultures of the countries that they are representing. Just to be clear. And I'm trying to bring it up in a respectful way. This has nothing to do with politics, just to be 100% clear.
People seem to be basically in line with you because they're saying they really liked it in the beginning, but it kind of grew off on them. Of course, at Eurovision, you only get to hear it for the first time. But the question is, by the end of the night, has it been people be like, it was nice, but not enough. And that is always the risk with a song like that. It feels very safe and dated to me, even though I'm happy Luxembourg is back. I don't like the song, unfortunately. Now, that question is, not question, it's more like concern is if they flop big time, if they're going to leave right away after this year, if they're at least committing to a couple of years of trying. Have they said anything? Probably not, huh?
I'd be surprised. I mean, it'd be surprising given the fanfare of their return. I think there's going to be interest from all sides to keep this going into the future, regardless of how they do this year. I think if a country like Malta, which is similar size and with nowhere near the kinds of resources that Luxembourg has, can sustain a participation, I don't see why that would be different here. I think, I do think, given that they've just arrived back into the contest, even if it's maybe borderline, I think it is still. It's clear that they intend to go somewhere with this. I don't think this is like a one and done kind of production. So I'm not worried about them going out again. And like the song is performed well, and like you say, a revamp could really help it. I just think they're not going anywhere, but for this year, I'd say they're on a little bit unstable ground.
Okay, yeah. All right. Let's move on to the last song because we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Well, you got 20 minutes to go, and that one is Finland. And I know that, 23 was a really shitty year for me overall. Was sick for 6 months. I was still sick. Both of my cats died last year back to back, and then Cha-Cha didn't win. Cha-Cha-Cha. So it's just like one bang after another. I still haven't recovered from that yet because Cha-Cha-Cha, that was my winner of 2023. But it's going to be, once again, similar to what I said about Portugal, a big shoes to fill for Finland. But they had their very beloved and popular national final, UMK. And Gabe, you mentioned earlier you were there.
Yes, I was.
And it was like a great experience.
Really great experience, I have to say. The way the broadcaster treated the fan press was absolutely superb, absolutely excellent. I think they really, everyone who was there agreed that they'd really rolled out the red carpet. They'd really done their best to make everyone feel at home. I think you can tell that they're trying to broaden the appeal of the show. They're trying to make it an event for Eurovision fans as well as for Finns. And I think they're making a lot of the right steps. Big upgrade in terms of venue this year. They moved it to an arena with 18,000 capacity, the biggest arena in Finland. But it's clearly a show that is maturing now, and as the format has improved and the quality of songs has improved, and so I'm quite excited with where things are going.
So without even talking about this song in particular, the song quality overall in UMK, whether you like the winner or not, do you think it was solid?
Yep, I thought it was very good. I think it was very good. I think the proof's in the pudding as well with the success commercially of the songs. And with the stature of the artists, some of whom were very, were quite well known, who've had hits in the past. We saw a returning artist in Cyan Kicks as well in the national final. Someone like Sini Sabotage, who was big in Finland a number of years ago, took a little step back and came forward again. We should also highlight the fact that the interval acts, which were Kärja and Erika Wickman, and then PV Hämäläinen.
Oh, two of my favorites.
Yeah. Kärja and Erika Wickman have done a song together, which was the interval act. Went straight to number 1 in Finland after that. And PV Hämäläinen, Mon Chéri, which was just like a song that had just been written for the show as an interval act. They then released it, and that went really high in the charts as well. So the cultural relevance of the show right now is at an all-time high, I would say. The genre diversity was nice. You got a lot of different influences. I think, it was going to be really difficult to replicate the magic of Cha Cha Cha, and that show last year was a freak, I think, in how good the songs were.
You cannot really, it's unfair to always put that on them, to be fair. It's I try to judge a song on its own merit, like, it's not as good or it's better. It's also not always fair. I'm going to watch the show because knowing that Kärja and Erika Wickman, she was supposed to win the national final, then she didn't, and they canceled Eurovision because of that. It's
exactly.
It's crazy how things go. Let's go. All right, exactly. I'm playing with my dog on the side, but now I got to stop because I am going to play No Rules by Windows 95 Man. Okay. But first, buy some big flavor for your dog. How do they know I have a dog?
They're listening to you.
Cookies. Oh, but then you have some Ritz crackers.
Oh, I do like Ritz crackers, actually. I can
send me
endorse that
money.
one. I endorse Ritz crackers, actually. Tasty.
I have no idea what this song's going to be. I know it's going to be upbeat. Is that like a...
It's a jeans egg.
Is that a denim egg?
Yes, it's a jeg.
Of course. Of course you come out of a denim egg at national finals. Okay. Oh my God. So there's a... What is he wearing? Oh my God. What is this? This is... Is he naked?
No, he's not.
Is he
He's
naked?
got pants on.
Oh.
This will become relevant later. Just bear with it.
Okay, but this is such a 90s song. Like the 90s song that would enter like the top 50 in Germany in 1995. Oh my God, it's so 90s. Is that the theme this year? Lots of 90s inspired songs? Or maybe just today? Oh my, I cannot deal with his voice. Oh no, I don't like that part at all. It's just a lot visually. Oh my God. No wonder you wanted this to go last.
Do you understand? It's a show closer, right?
That would be quite a... Oh my God. It's a lot. It's like a middle finger to the juries. I will not lie, though. It is catchy. It's quite catchy, the chorus.
Eyes on the screen.
Is that a spider? Oh, are these pants?
Yeah.
Oh, he's earning his pants. That's why he was naked. So now he's... I don't get the message. What does it mean? Is this just not just random? What a major accomplishment. He earned... Oh. That gimmick. Oh my God.
No rules. Woo! Yeah.
No rules, no chance. I'm kidding. Look, let's start. Let's talk this through. This really, I think the one thing I said earlier sums it up to me. It sounds like a song from 1995 that I've heard before that was like, you know, somewhere in the German charts. I played on MTV like 3 times. It's not my genre. That's probably the issue. Back then it was, but now it isn't. So there's a lot going on the stage, right? Him coming out of a denim jeans egg, then him wearing nothing, but then he earned, and then it's, what is the message? I'm now, no rules, and I listened a little bit to the words, but it was just, the staging was so distracting to me. It almost gives me like that San Marino way was also on bull riding at the end. I was like, why are you doing all of this? And that was a lot. That was a lot. And I'm not going to lie, it's catchy. Because I remember it now. I just don't think, look, first of all, that's it. Pretend like it's going to fly through to the finals. It's a 100% televote. It's probably going to go last in the second half in between all these other slow, like less memorable songs. It's like you have to. I would vote for this in the second half, probably. You know what I mean? So it's flying through. So we're not going to have the discussion, right? So I just was overwhelmed. Like that's the best I describe it. It was a little. I think they could finesse. I know they wanted to be all silly, and I feel as they went 3 steps too far with the silliness. And I know a lot of people will like it, but I don't know if I love it. I don't, and I'm worried now that a lot of people love the song and they're disappointed that I didn't jump on that bandwagon.
I
But
forgive you.
oh, I know it's fine. I just think that we've done it better in the 1990s. If they would have really made this like a 90s song for the year 2024, sure, then I can embrace that better. It's just not it's just a little bit of a hot mess for me. So yeah, it's mid for me. Like it has some good points, but I think there's so many things I have to subtract for that. I maybe just having too much of a jury hat on right now. I'm thinking like da 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 da, but I didn't. It's not like I just was like I don't care, I love it. I never got to that point either. So that's why I just get a little bit more picky.
But yeah. Matt, I am going to make this worse for you because when you listen to the song that came second in this national final, I think you'll be upset. There was a song that came second in this national final, Pascanar by Sarah Siepola, which meant a lot to me. And I love No Rules, but it did take me a little bit to get over losing Sarah Siepola's song, which was really, really amazing in my opinion. And really, really beautifully staged. But for me, I mean, you know me. I like drama. I like fun. I like da 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 da.
I do too.
And this is for me like exactly the kind of like mad energy I love. So it's just fun and enjoyable. It makes me smile so much. We should, by the way, we did get a super chat. We should mention it.
Okay, thank you so much for the super chat. That's always helping us out.
Yeah, thank SC you. Says, here's a super chat to help you pay for YouTube Premium so you have no ads at $20. Thank you so much.
Oh gosh, you're funny. Thank you. Yeah, and so let me ask you this, because I know in previous years in UMK they had like the last 2 years or so, 70% televote and 30% jury vote.
25. Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought, why bother? Did they have it this year as well?
Yes.
How did the juries vote?
The juries put this last.
Yeah. Thank you. Not thank you, but I knew it. And it's gonna fly through to the finals, and it's gonna go bottom 3 or 4 with the juries again. Sorry. I just like I saw this comment from 10 miles away. Mm-hmm. And I'm just worried that this maybe it will translate to the bigger stage, like to the international crowds more. I don't know. It just feels so dated, and I guess the fun factor just kind of passes me by. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old cramping man. Maybe the paper boy was right. I'm just an old grumpy man.
Oh dear. Well, maybe it's because you keep throwing things at him when he tries to give you the newspaper.
If you stop doing that, get out! Now, to be honest, I like a lot of the fun songs. I love Croatia, and I mean, Ireland is not fun. It's a different thing. I love a lot of fun. Cha cha cha. Tell me, you know what I mean? I love that one. It's just this one, I feel as they just went so novelty act and gimmicky that I think that it's the first time I watched it was a little much, and maybe it's a grower, like you get used to it, it's now I'm forgetting the German word for it. There's a word for it, Schönhören. Have you heard of that term before? Like you heard pretty, like you keep listening to it, and then at some point it's nice, it's
okay. Yeah, I know what you
mean. And that could be the case here, but yeah, it's just I don't hate it. But yeah, where's it in the bet? Is it high in the betting odds?
This is I can tell you in fact that it is as of right now, stalling to mentoring, it is 17th in the odds.
Oh, it's not that high then. Okay, then I'm not like that off. Okay, I thought it was like one of the top 5, like people think it's going to win. Okay.
Again, wow. It was actually a pattern this national finals that a lot of outsiders won, or at least betting odds outsiders, I should say. Mm-hmm. And this was the same again. So the other song I mentioned that came second was The Big Favourite. and won the jury vote comfortably. But obviously, televote is king in Finland, and Windows 95 Man comfortably won the televote.
That's the problem, though. I understand, though, but then why bother having a jury? You know, the 25% means virtually nothing.
I think it serves like as a tiebreaker if the public can't decide between two songs. I'm a bit of a defender of this system. I'm sort of having a live by the sword, die by the sword year for my televote bias, because it's sort of the public giveth and the public take away. If the public express a really clear preference for one song, I feel that should always be the song that goes to Eurovision. Because of that,
I guess it's fair. I hate it when you're right. You're right. You're right. And maybe I don't like the second spot. Maybe I hate that one. You never know.
I don't think you will. I think you'll like it very much.
Yeah. Is it a ballad?
It is a ballad. It's a really beautiful ballad sung in Finnish with a really clever staging concept that I saw in the room and thought was in the room. It was so moving. I jumped on Twitter and declared it like the best staging ever and got clowned on for it. It didn't look as good on TV as it did in the room, as it turned out, but it still did look very good and very powerful in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So I would love to hear from people in the chat at ESC United. Could this get 0 points from the juries in the final? I think it could. No, I don't think it'll be 0. Juries are humans, right? And there will be a few individuals who will like this, right? Even when the jury's in there, find some merit in voting for it. It will be overshadowed by some other jurors, maybe they'll put it further down, but they changed the jury ranking where if you really hate it, you cannot punish songs as much as you could before when you put something in last place. So if one juror has it in top 3 and another one has it like in 7th place, something like that, you have a good chance to get like a few points here and there. So I don't think it's going to be a 0 point. For that, it's too out there. If it could potentially pull a Moldova 22, I could see that happening. But I'm still not quite as convinced that this will go as big with the televoters, only because I don't necessarily think it is as slick as some of the other favorites. But maybe they'll change things up for the state. It makes because I was just overwhelmed with all that stuff, and then I don't know. Melodically it was just fine, but I've heard it all before. So we shall see. We shall see. Now you have heard all the semi-1 songs, Matt. Which ones do you think are out? Okay. Well, first, before I do that, let me I did yesterday my top 3 based on first impression, subject to change because there's some songs that I have to listen to it again. But I will say number 3. Should I start with the best one or the 3rd place?
3rd place. Work your way to the best.
3rd place. Bronze medal goes to Luxembourg. I actually like that song, Bare Bones, right now. Holding out hope that this song will get improved. Maybe I shouldn't put in the top 3 because I am still in the impression they're going to fix that in the revamp. But I do, melodically, it just stood. This one's stuck in my head still. Just, I'm rooting for you, Luxembourg. No, actually, I changed my mind. Can I remove it? I forgot about one song. I only looked at 6. I forgot about Slovenia. Slovenia is 3rd. Sorry.
Okay, so
I forgot about Slovenia.
4th, then.
Yeah, Luxembourg is 4th. I forgot about Slovenia. Slovenia needs to be 3rd because I was like, oh no, that one has to be in the top 3. Slovenia is 3rd place for me. 2nd place, Portugal. I think it's just a classy song and has so much potential, great voice, and yeah, Portugal. And my number 1, not Iceland. It's UK. It's not in the semi. I get that, but I'm just ranking the songs from tonight, and that one stood out to me the most. And I don't want to give that excitement to Gabe, but I can't help it. So I'm disappointed to do that. No, I'm kidding. I love that song actually. So it was for me my favorite of the evening. So the direct qualifier beating all the second half of the first semi. It's kind of funny, huh?
I will say this was definitely a weaker half.
Yeah. No doubt. People are asking, who do I think is out as of right now? Let me take a look at that list. Uno secundo, got to bring the first half in here. So let's go for them. Croatia obviously is not going to qualify. Kidding. Obviously, Croatia will fly through. I have faith in Ireland. I think it's just too out there for people to ignore it. So I'll put that one in there. I think Lithuania just it's liked enough, and it has plenty of a head start in points based on who's in that semi. So that's 3. Ukraine, I mean, obvi. Finland, not a discussion. I feel comfortable about Portugal. That's 6. Serbia, 7. Poland, I just think Poland is a good pop song, so I'll put that number 8. Slovenia, did I say Slovenia? No, Slovenia I haven't said yet. That's 9, and then 10. I still believe in you, Luxembourg. That's a borderline for me right now. So that means I think Cyprus could make it, though. I don't think Cyprus is out.
Versus Cyprus, I think only one of them is going.
I picked everything. I picked every single song from the first half. So then Cyprus is the only one that's not going to make it. That's the only reason. Australia, I'm nervous for. Azerbaijan, I'm nervous for. Iceland, and Moldova. So those are the ones that, for these 4, I'm feeling more. Australia, Azerbaijan, Iceland, and Moldova are the less likely ones. And then I think Cyprus and Luxembourg are battling it out. It has nothing to do, by the way, what I think is better. People talk about that, right? It's really just about what I think is going to happen. There's just no way that every single song from the first half was going to qualify. I just don't believe that.
And out of all,
you think so?
Yes. Although quickly, I'm going to interlude with a super chat. Sully's Gig Archive says, thanks for all the live streams. How strong overall is this year's selection compared to last year? Personally, 2023 was definitely stronger. I have 3 times as many on my Spotify liked songs. Donated £20. Thank you so much, Sully. What do you think about this so far from what you've heard? Stronger or weaker than 2023?
Well, this is unfair because it's only one half. I only know half of the songs.
How
based on what I know, it's hard because I know all. Now I'm comparing it to, it's just hard for me right now. I'm leaning towards 23. But there could be so many bangers in the second half as well. I just feel as I had a lot more songs in 23 that I'm like, yeah. And here it's more like, okay, let's wait and see. That does mean, they have some outstanding songs. We talked about Croatia and all of these other ones. So, but right now, got into my head, 23. How about you?
To be honest, I'm remembering how I felt about 2023 at this stage of the season last year, and I thought 2023 was quite weak at this point. I think 2024 is quite strong at this point, and once you have the stagings and the live shows and so on, the songs take on a new meaning and a new emotional meaning, I think, as well, and you sort of become more attached to them. So for that reason, at the moment, I'm going to say 2024 is stronger. I think you don't have, I do think that if you had Tattoo or Cha 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 in this lineup, they would lay waste to absolutely everything in their path, as they did in 2023. But I don't think there's a clear favourite like there was, and that's exciting as well. I think we're onto a really open show. I think there's a lot of really strong songs coming from countries like Croatia that maybe we aren't used to them being in contention, and now they are. So I'm really optimistic. At the moment, I'm going to say I think 2024 is stronger.
Yeah. Again, mine is flawed because I don't know. There could be all these bangers in the second semifinal. So, and we had some bangers here, and we still have also. I'm curious about the 3 direct qualifiers: France, Italy, and Spain. They have all 3 always have potential. So that, by the way, in case you're wondering, next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we'll do this again. First half on Saturday, second half on Sunday. Is there anything, Gabe, you wanted to still bring up, discuss in regards to semi 1 now that we have all of the songs in?
I just think, obviously, it's I think given the strength of the first half, I think it's an interesting challenge to the producers on what they do with where they place the already qualified entries to break up the show will make a bit of a difference. And so I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, because you've got a lot of powerhouses in that first half. That said, if I was one of those songs which are in contention in that first half, so Ukraine, Croatia, Lithuania, in my opinion, is in contention, I would want to perform first.
Yeah.
But hear me out. Those songs which are challenging, they're going through in any case. They're qualifying anyway. I said this, those of you who've been tuning in the last few streams will know I've said this before, and I'm going to really reinforce it. Tactically speaking, I think those songs in such an open year where the small differences are important, you want to perform first, because it means if you get drawn first half in the final, they'll put you 12th.
That too. Not always. That's
So
not true. But they put at least I'm going to put you. They did do it to Alexander Rybak. He
that is
was like
true, but
first
they
and then
didn't
seventh.
know. But they didn't, So I think there's the point. If you're not going to open the final, if you open the semi,
Yeah.
they're not
That's
going to
true.
screw you like that, especially if you're in with a chance of winning. So in my opinion, it's a good. If I was Croatia or whoever else and got first in the semi, I'd be like, okay, great, take the hit now when we can afford to. That's my view.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, do most people agree that most likely Croatia is going to open the semi? Is
I
that
think
still
there's options. Croatia could, Lithuania could, Cyprus could.
Lithuania? That's a little bit too low
Yeah,
key. That's just like it's a little. It's not the energy doesn't seem like an opener to me.
it's a club banger. It's
Oh,
fun.
okay.
It's. I think it would make a good opener. I think Cyprus or Croatia would maybe be better.
Hmm. Not
But yeah,
Ireland. They're not gonna have Ireland go first.
no, they will not. They will not. But
Yeah.
again, like Ireland, I think are gonna. I know people are saying will they, won't they? I think they're gonna sail through. But we can talk about that another time.
Yeah. All right. Any questions in regards to the semi one lineup or Eurovision at ESC United in the chat? Let us know. I'm scrolling right now, but it always takes a few seconds for anything to come in since I just announced it. I was going to ask you which one you want me to listen. Which one are you looking forward to the most? Me listening to, but then you kind of spoiled it for me by saying that.
Oh, what in semi two?
Yes, if you say, well, I'm looking forward for you to listen to Denmark, and then I was like, well, then now I have expectations, so I don't
Not
want.
Denmark. I didn't say Denmark.
Well, I was just using that as an example. The first one that came to mind that I remember is in this. Like, if you were to say, like, I can't wait for you to listen to Georgia, then
Okay.
I have like it's gonna like, well, I
What
know
I'm
that.
going to say is because we talked about it on stream already. I know how much you liked Arcadia by Megara
Mm-hmm.
when that was in Benidorm Fest. With that in mind, I am looking forward to seeing what you think
That's
of
fair.
their entry for San Marino this year. So there's that. I can see a lot of sand. That's Denmark and the Netherlands in chat. I think those will be again like I think it's a strong semi final. I think there's a lot of things, but for me, I'm interested to hear what you have to say about Megara.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah, me too, actually. So that's a very good guess. Question here: who is in most danger in the first half? Like I'd say, there's one that will not make it, not based on your taste, your personal preference, but who you think, in terms of televote, has the biggest chance of not making the cut.
Cyprus.
I would lean towards Cyprus as well because they wouldn't for me. Like it's not my least favorite in the first half. I thought I'm looking at it's not really. I like them. There was not one bad song in the first half to me. So yeah, but Cyprus probably would be the only one that I can even point at. I mean, unless Serbia doesn't click. Like Serbia mess up the staging and it becomes so cold and people just don't click with it. That's the other one. Again, I think it's a fantastic song, but I could see in the universe where the televoters just be like, nah, doesn't touch me.
I just think having Croatia and Slovenia in the semi, I just can't see how it flops so badly that with high scores from them and Teodora is massive across the Balkans.
True.
I can't see how they don't qualify. In my opinion, it seems to me that they're comfortable.
Yeah, that is true. I am scared for Ireland's staging. Are we concerned about Ireland and their staging? I did watch the national final performance last night after I had my reaction video, and of course it's the late show, so the sound quality is horrendous. I like the idea though, what they did with the staging. So I think if they pick up on that and make it grander, appropriate for the Eurovision stage, I think they already have something. She's great. She has the energy. She has to. I think they're onto something. Just yeah, I mean, I think I'm worried, but I'm not that worried.
Yeah, I think trust the process. Bambi has a very strong. Bambi isn't going to be like some of the past Ireland Eurovision entries where they've sort of been given something bland by RTE and then run with it. So I think we're going to see, much like with Ryan O'Shaughnessy, I think with Bambi, they are going to have a concept in their mind already, like they did for the music video, and they'll stick with it. Yeah, trust the witch, as Casey in chat said. I completely agree. So trust the process with Ireland.
Mm.
Give it time. Give
Can
it
I?
time.
Yeah.
Let
Can I
them
say
do it.
something real quick? I
Yes.
watched I did watch Ireland's national final, the top 3 songs at least, and not to be mean, but Ireland, the bullet that you dodged is 3 miles big, because that second place song. Oh my God!
Which one?
In Ireland, the boy band.
The boy
In
band.
Ireland,
Ugh.
I
Oh
was
my
like, oh my
god,
God,
the
that was
boy band.
horrendously bad. I was like, that's almost what you've chosen, and the international juries thought that was the winner. Thank God that the national juries came in and said that was like one of the worst songs I've heard so far.
Yeah,
Right?
ironically, and it's ironic that the band was named next in line since one of them has already quit, and we're never going to hear of them ever again.
Oh, well,
Like
that did take
Louis
long.
Walsh.
Oh, I
he's
hate
a
him. Oh, sorry. I've been so
no,
mean
no,
right
no,
now.
no, no,
He's
no,
just
no,
such a
no.
mean
Say it
person.
louder. Say it
Because
louder.
what he said, like about the jet word and all of that stuff, he's some big brother or something like that. And I'm sure he shit talked other people as well. I
Yeah.
hate people like that. He's just like a big ball of toxic energy.
Yeah, and if you look at what Louis Walsh has brought Ireland in Eurovision, Dying to Try, which was a rubbish concept.
That's when I
and
met
not very
him,
well
actually.
performed.
He was a dick.
Yeah, well, it's like his influence is just not a positive thing for Ireland in Eurovision or for the music industry in general. I think people like Jedward are showing that, and without meaning to get too much into the Louis Walsh hate brigade, which I'm sure we could both very ably do. Thank gosh that the Irish public and the Irish jury had some sense to make sure that song didn't win.
Yeah. So yeah, that's funny that I forgot about him. Oh man. But yeah, so that's. Any other questions, Eddie? Is that it? What is with the international juries? I'm so furious at the international jury for Germany. In Ireland?
This is the juries in the German national final.
Oh, what did they do?
They they basically Rick did really badly. And I'm upset about it, so I kind of agree with the person there. But I think, to be honest, Germany's system set it up for failure. The main thing that I really disliked about that system, they changed it from last year. It was much better because the juries gave out points of 1 through 12 in the normal way. The public gave out the same amount of points, which meant it's a 50-50 system that essentially favors the televote, because the amount of votes that the jury can give a maximum of 6, 23, 12, a quarter, something like that, of its points to one song. It's not a quarter exactly. It's a little under that. Whereas the televote, if 50% of people vote for a song, it got 50% of the points. They changed it to this year where you had that 12 through 1 conversion. So what that means is if a song comes like 4th with the jury, it's over. They can't win. Which is a rubbish system. In any case, Isaac did win both the jury and the televote. So
I was going to say, I'm like, didn't he win both though? To be fair, so it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah. I'm still. I mean, Did you watch the German national final?
Yes, I was very.
Did they have jurors or like people, panelists talking, all that stuff, or not really in this one?
It was just like, here are the points from me.
Okay, so they didn't like influence the people. So it was truly Germans wanting to have that song. I like. That's why I went to America, I guess.
Yeah,
that's what you get.
Frock in chat makes a really good point.
I would still be in Germany. Go ahead. What?
Rick came 5th in the jury vote, and he had 51 points. Second place had 56 points. So and that was the difference between second place being in with a shot of winning and Rick being completely out of it. Like, that system is so bad. I hate it. I hate it. Germany, do better.
Germany, I knew exactly this was going to happen in Germany, only because I had a good system last year. It didn't. People were like overwhelmingly voting for the winner, right? And it flopped at Eurovision. So I begged them, like, don't change it. One bad result does not mean you tried. You sent something different. It doesn't always work out. Don't give up. But sure enough, like, oh, it didn't work this time. Let's try something completely different. Every year they're trying to do something different and nothing works because they just don't know who they are and what they think about the voting system rather than the songs.
Yeah.
They've put
Yeah.
so much work into, let's try this, and we got this, and then we have the perfect recipe for people choosing the best song. I'm like, focus on the music and not the voting as much. It's not that, it's just that what pisses me off. So I feel like they need to go back to internal at this point, because they clearly, it's like, it's so frustrating, and it's like the biggest country in in terms of population in Europe, and they have the worst results. The people in charge, they just never change. And I met the German delegations before, and well, the ones that I met before, they're gone now. And there seemed to be a lot of, every year, so much confidence, like undeserved confidence in their entries, because it qualifies, and it drives me nuts. But anyways, I digress. It's just like it, triggers me. Also, the televoting continues after jury votes in the Germany selection. That also happens, to be fair, in Sweden, Melfest. I don't like that because it does influence people. Well, there's only 3 songs that's still in the running, so I'm just going to have to vote for one of those 3. I hate that as well. They need to do it at Eurovision. Set the deadline and let them vote, and then let the points fall where they may.
Completely agree. I think it's a terrible system.
Yeah. Do you think that could have killed Rick? Or Rick, his name, right?
Oh, no, he was. I mean, he was. It's impossible to say. I mean, I think Rick would have been in trouble anyway, because in the old system he would have still had a substantial margin to make up, and he didn't win the televote. We don't know if he would have won the televote.
Yeah, right. But my point is, if he would have come second or first in the jury vote, and people see, okay, Rick, he may still have a shot. People would have maybe they jumped off the Rick wagon because they knew he couldn't win. That kind of thing.
That's true.
And I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't know how the point system works, but that's one of the concerns that I have with when you let them vote. So.
Yeah, I just think it's a shame, because the one thing Germany had last year was the results format.
Yeah.
Like, that was exactly that. It was, like, in my opinion, what is probably the best format if you're going to have juries whose votes matter.
Because the juries didn't want the winning song.
No, they didn't. They tried to block it.
It's an overwhelming support from the televoters, and that, I agree with you, is actually then, if the public wants it so badly, send it. And that's why I'm like very much in favor of it. Any winners for you so far? Could we have the potential winner in this semi? I think the only song that I see here that jumps out at me as a potential winner, the cat song, Meow Meow. So it is Croatia. It's the only one I could see potentially win. That's not a guarantee. I have to, because I don't know. It doesn't necessarily scream like this is like kind of like Tattoo or whatever, like jumps at you. But I think this has all the qualities to win. It's a great song. I'm a bit surprised that Ukraine is second in the odds. I don't think it doesn't scream winner to me. Could have to do with the war that's going on. I don't know. That seems to be always high up there. But other than that, that's the one that stands out to me the most. What do you think? Is there another potential winner here?
So I disagree with you about Ukraine. I think that has 200-point potential with both juries and televoters. Really? In that case, we could be looking at a year where you only need 420, 430 points to win. And so because of that, you have to look at any song with a route to that number potentially winning the contest. I think Croatia can. I think Ukraine can. I think if you're looking for a dark horse in the semi-final, I wouldn't rule out Lithuania totally, but I think it would require a series of events to go its way. It would have to be really perfect and need some help from some, maybe not perfect performances elsewhere. But I think Croatia and Ukraine are the big ones in this half of the semi in terms of winning. And there are a couple who, are in the second that are also in contenders, but I won't give anything away there. UK, unfortunately, I don't think isn't going to do it. I can't see it this year, which is a shame, but I think we'll still do nicely.
Sweden is not going to win, so I mean, maybe it's because if I look at the list, there are no bad songs, I said in the first half, but if I have to pick my least favorite in the first half, it is actually Ukraine. It's the only one that doesn't stand out to me as much. I'm not as convinced about the juries going for this one. So I am not convinced Ukraine can win. Unless, well, they're not going to repeat what happened in 22 in terms of the vote margin. So I'm not as convinced about Ukraine. So I only see, as of right now, Croatia. So I think I want to listen to the 3 direct qualifiers. I mean, Italy, France, and Spain, and then of course semi 2. Let me see which countries. I don't know. That could be a surprise one. Switzerland has had good results, although for the last couple of years they had, just songs that were just barely making the cut in the finals. The Netherlands, but I'm worried about the Europapa. I was going to say Europapa, and Norway always on the radar, but they're sending a Norwegian song, right?
Yes,
Ulveham?
it is in Norwegian.
So that, of course, is a question mark, but I'm happy they are. But that's always like they're sending something like, let's just try something different. Yeah. So those are the ones I would probably the Netherlands, Norway, maybe Switzerland, Greece. But Greece had a little, results. So I don't know. But there could be a country that just comes out of nowhere. I'm hoping Denmark has something a little less vanilla this time around.
I won't give away anything. I think the second semi, it's really diverse. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of interesting things happening. So I think I don't know which ones you're going to really like and not, but you will not be bored. It is in my opinion, a really fun semi-final. So I can't wait for you to hear it.
So I ask it anyway because you're not going to tell me which songs, but do you have preference between semi 1 and 2?
I
have semi 1 for me right now. So you pick
semi
yours.
1 by a whisker.
By a whisker. Okay.
By a whisker.
By a whisker it is. Okay. All right. Well, I'll do that again next year. Yeah, see you next year. Next week. I cannot wait. I want to know all the songs. I'm still going to stay away a little bit, of course, from people tweeting because they keep posting clips and comments, and I was like, no, don't show me that. And you'll be back hopefully one of those days next week as well, right?
Yes. I should be able to be here next Sunday, so I'll be there for you with 2:30 of 72.
Okay, perfect. Well, in that case, everyone, y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining. I need to eat now, and I think Gaston needs to go potty. So you all have a good night, okay? Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.